Good afternoon and welcome to the Red Mic. Hope everybody's doing okay today. These weekday messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from my life as a public servant for the last 25 years or so. 16 years as a youth sports coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with a lot more heart than physical ability. Today's Red Mic message, emotional IQ, EQ, but with a little bit of a Star Trek Discovery hint to it. Don't know if you've been watching Star Trek Discovery. Just watched the last episode. No, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. But if you haven't watched through episode 9, which was last week's episode, well, that's on you. That's not my fault. Emotional intelligence, as you may or may not be aware, has a lot of definitions, a lot of things that go into it. But essentially, it's EQ, as they call it. It's your ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to achieve your goals. Now, by checking in with your emotions, how do you feel today? What are your priorities? If you're aware of your emotions, you can manage them better and you can use them for you. And it's sort of like, okay, comic book geek moment. Okay, if if you've ever read any of the Green Lantern books, the comic books, they talk about him being a man with no fear. Well, in later years, they changed that to say, yeah, I have fear, but I use it. I channel it into willpower, and that's the way I make things work. Well, Commander Rayner, former Captain Rayner, he got demoted after he accepted being the XO on Discovery under Burnham. Not a touchy-feely guy at all. Not one that you would say was in command of his emotional intelligence. He didn't acknowledge his feelings. He pushed them down. Now, part of that, he had a rough upbringing. His family was wiped out by the Breen, and they took no prisoners and all of that. So, it's understandable that the guy would have a hard edge. Having a high emotional IQ is about maintaining that edge, but only pulling it out when you really need to. You don't have to be the hard as all the time. Yes, I self-edited. You you don't have to be, the iron fist all the time. Put it in that velvet glove. Give them the soft touch until you need to pull it out. It's like, it's like Patrick Swayze said in Roadhouse: be nice until I tell you to not be nice. Well, in this case, you're the one telling yourself when to not be nice. Ways to control your emotions: actively listen to other people without interrupting. That's how you can understand their perspective and respect their thoughts and feelings on it. Again, big learning curve that Rayner had to overcome. Now, why did I mention all of this? Rayner was my favorite character this season. He was, to me, the closest thing we've seen to Kirk that's shown up in any of the Star Treks other than the original. But he was more of a Kirk without the softer side. Remember in the original Star Trek how Kirk got split into two people, right? And the hard, the bad negative Kirk and the good Kirk, and the good couldn't exist without the bad, and the bad couldn't exist without the good. Well, Rayner, a lot of that good stuff has just been pushed so far down by his early life experiences that he's mostly hard, mostly the cactus, the iron fist all the time. And I've seen some complaints on social media. Imagine that people. I've seen some complaints on social media. Discovery is just touchy feely Star Trek, and yeah, I get it. It's probably trying too hard to be you know, all things to all people all the time. But, you know, man, Rayner's a great character. And I will say that I don't know about anybody else, but in episode 9, after they finally got him to take the command seat, when he pulled his blouse down using the Picard maneuver, you know, getting into the chair, I was like, yes, you go. Was excited to see it. And if you haven't seen the next episode, you really need to. He pulls some pretty outlandish stuff. Just, it's a great episode. So, EQ, actively listen. Practice deep breathing to control your emotions. You know, count to 10 in your head before you let that first thought out. You know, I have to do that. Sometimes I have to count to 10. You know, Mark Twain and really angry swear. You know, I don't do it out loud usually in the workplace, but occasionally I do. Offer support and positive feedback to your staff. They need to know that you support them even when they screw up. And then reflect on what you personally can learn from setbacks. Everybody's going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. Your staff's going to make mistakes. View them as the learning opportunities that they are, and make it so. Yes. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting or enjoyable or helpful in some way. I hope you'll join me here every weekday. I am still contemplating a change. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing these live at 2:30. I may do them live earlier in the day, or I may record them and then post them later. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I have found out that 2:30 in the afternoon is not always the best time of day for getting work done. In fact, I was pounding away at my strategic plan up until about 8-9 minutes ago. So let me know what you think. Would you like to see this earlier in the day? Would you like to see them later in the day so you can ruminate them all night long and then maybe put them in place at the workplace the next day? I'd like to get your feedback, because ultimately I want this to be interactive as much as we can. And again, that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow right here on Facebook, also on YouTube. I'm uploading to X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I've got a few up on Spotify as well. This will be up on Spotify later today. And again, thank you for joining me. Please like, follow, and share. That's how we get the message out to more people. And the more people, obviously, it's going to be better for everybody, because I think these are helpful. If you think they're helpful, please share. That's it for today. Life is short. Drink the bourbon.